Jeff, you only have chapter 9 and point 3, or you have the whole chapter?
What's happening?
You have chapter
I
all
only
of
have the sections that are signed. I don't have all of chapter 9. Because it's a lot to copy. See how? Alright guys, one thing I always wonder when I made this is I wanted to see if anybody says, this is something you don't even know to ask. What's the scale? Because it could be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Right? But if I don't put it, you can assume it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so forth. Right? Blah, 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 blah. So what about A? This would be back
-4.
4, down.
-5.
Good. So A is going to be back 4, down 5. B.
Minus
Yeah, back 3,
2.
up 2. So you see how you can look at a point, it's just directions. They're just directions. That's what a point is. C,
4,
yeah, 4,
0.
0. D,
Minus 1,
yeah, back 1,
3.
up 3. Back 1, positive 3.
8,
And then E,
2,
yeah, 2 over,
negative 3.
3 down. Like. What quadrant is B in? Second quadrant. Good, so that could be a question you could get. So they do talk about quadrants in there too. Okay, what quadrant is C in?
4.
It ain't. It's right on the boundary, right? So it's officially not in a quadrant.
So what would you say?
Yeah, I would say it's on the x-axis.
On the x-axis.
Or you could say it's straddling the first and fourth quadrants.
Get real technical.
Straddling, well, I mean. All right. Now this is the opposite. This is you graphing it yourself. So 0, 2.
Up
Go
2.
all the way to the first.
Let me use-
Middle.
This is always the most exciting thing. All right. So stay here, and then go up 2. I like it. So that's A. What about negative 3, 5?
To the left.
Yeah, back 3, up 5. It's B. Or C.
Down.
Back 2,
Down.
down 3. That's C. Careful for D, I go
Back 4.
back 4
And then just stay right there.
and stay right there.
Still.
And then for E,
3.
Over 1.
over 1,
Down 3.
down 3.
Down 3.
I like it. So notice I don't put the point until I'm done with what the X and the Y both tell me. Don't put a point, go, oh, bam, and put a point. No, no. Finish all the directions. All right. Does that make a line? No. So don't try to, unless I say so. All right. So here, graph the line. So I know these are going to line up. They have to. So that's a way to check yourself. If you get this, 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 and then this, all right, something didn't go right. It's supposed to line up. So here, the way you do this is exactly, this should feel a lot like some stuff we've done earlier this semester. You put a 2 in for X. And the minute you do that, you have an equation. I like how some of you guys realized right here, you can just say, well, I know what Y's got to be. Y's got to be 1. Right? But just to show you, the algebra will eventually catch up to you. Negative Y equals negative 1. Y equals 1. So I know I love math, and the reason, one aspect of that is to realize that algebra is not always the right math to use. Right? So right there, it's just, you can just reason it out. You know what to take away from 4. 1. So what about this second row? What am I going to do there? What's the second row tell me to do?
For Y,
Make Y
2x
3.
minus 3.
So sometimes for myself, I'll do this. This is the first part. Second part says,
2x
make Y 3.
3.
Then I solve this like a normal little equation. 2x is 6.
Divided
X is
3.
3. So the third little problem tells me to make,
Minus
make
2.
X
2x
negative 3.
2 minus 3.
So you get negative 6 minus y is 3. You add 6, and then people freaked out a little bit here. But it's always weird to me. Remember, there's always an understood 1 there.
1.
So if it was 2y equals 9, I'd divide by 2. If it was 8y equals 9, I'd divide by 8. Well, it's negative 1 equals y equals 9, so I divide by negative 1. I never do something different.
Y minus.
Now, I want to point out something about this point. I'm not going to use that point to graph because I don't want to. I don't have to. How many points do you think I need for a line?
9.
2.
2. The minute I got 2 points, doesn't that define a line? Now, to be careful, you should always have a third point to make sure it doesn't go bang, bang, bong. Shit. Somebody broke my line. So then the last one.
0.
Yeah, make x 0. 2 times 0 minus y equals 3. Divide by negative 1, I get y equals negative 3. Now, you could plot this point, but in order to do it, you'd have to make your scale go by like negative 2, negative 4, negative 6. Do you guys see that? That's the next level of this. I'm not going to talk too much about that, but I can make the scale 5, 10, 15, 20, as long as down here it's negative 5, negative 10. So you can make your scale fit your points if you don't have enough room, right? But here I'm just not going to plot that one. Screw that one. So 2, 1. Oh my God.
Do you have to write the numbers up each time you do it? Because I just leave mine blank.
I understand, because you're assuming it's,
1.
I'm trying to show you the right way to do it, but for us it's almost always going to be 1 through 5. It'll work out fine because we're just doing the basics. But so one point I can do is 2, 1.
2x.
2,
1.
1.
Oh.
And then 3, 3. 3, 3. You gotta love 3, 3. Can't go wrong with anything like that. I want to skip negative 3, negative 9 because it's off my graph. 0, negative 3.
0. Down.
Yeah, just go down 3.
Down 3.
And then you can see this one's a little bit better than my crappy ones. Let's see.
So it's squiggly.
Poor little thing. You can always get a straight edge if you really want to do it right. Round. There you go. I like it. Coolness. And then finally, this one's easier to be honest. I know I gave you the numbers up here, but this one's easier because it's already solved for y. So I'm going to pick a bunch of numbers for x. And I pretty much always make sure that I use 0. It's a good one to pick. Y equals negative 3 times 0 plus 2, so y equals 2. Yay! Now if you didn't use that one, it doesn't matter. But that's one I always make sure I use. What's another one that you guys used?
1.
1? That makes sense. Y equals negative 3 times 1 plus 2. Y equals negative 3 plus 2. Negative 3 plus 2.
Negative 6 plus 4.
Who to what?
Sorry.
So if I make x equal to 1,
6 plus 2.
I get negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. Now are you saying to make x 2? Sure. So the third one I can make x 2. Negative 6 plus 2. Negative 4, I like it. And then, if you continue in this fashion, you would use 3. That's crazy. Let's try to use negative 1, just because. So if I put y equal negative 3 times negative 1 plus 2, I get y equals 3 plus 2, y equals 5. Now again, if I give you a problem like this, I've got to be open to a lot of different possibilities, right? But, if you use 10, why would you do that? But then you can do that for one of your points, sure, just go crazy. But just don't pick it, right? So 0, 2, just to hammer this home. 0, 2, 1, negative 1, 2, negative 4, and then negative 1, 5, and then they all do. Here, Jeff, use a straight edge. There you go, buddy. Schwa! Make whatever sound effects you want to when you go through them. Yay! I almost made it through. Cool, how you doing? So to be honest, you really should be doing X, Y, you should be telling me what your scale is. Just want to get you ready for when you do start to play around with the scale. You got to communicate that. The worst thing in the world is somebody in my math 90 or 110 that just, here's an answer from the homework, bam! It's like, what the shit is that? That's crap. What's your scale? Where's your work? What's your points you used? That ain't good enough. No. I plugged in my calculator. Screw you. You're supposed to be doing this by hand at first. Right? So some of you guys might know how to use a graphing calculator. Be careful. When you get a teacher like me, we want you to understand what you're doing. We want you to do it by hand first.
What do you mean, does that affect them? As you get to the point?
If you make the sound effect, yeah, that'll make me all happy. All right, guys. So next time I'll have the answer key for that practice final. And I'll have all your homework. Oh, my God. A lot of it won't be graded, but oh well.
Homework to the 9, 11, or only 9?